think it's pretty safe to say that LA Knight is one of the more over baby faces in the entire WWE. I even said on my Friday Night SmackDown post show this past week that I would put LA Knight over Cody Rhodes at this point in time for number one babyface in the entire company, over Cody and over Seth Rollins. You might not think so, but that's my opinion. A lot of fans want to see LA Knight take a little bit more of a priority on WWE television. But WWE, they have this thing where if they want you to think something, they're going to force it down your throat. LA Knight was coming out a few weeks ago, and WWE was manipulating crowd responses. They were piping in boos for LA Knight when everybody clearly wants to cheer LA Knight. He came out on Friday night. He came out at Madison Square Garden the week before that. Overwhelming baby face reactions. I think everybody knows that he's a baby face and not a heel. Not WWE. Internally, they still have LA Knight slotted as a heel on Friday Night SmackDown. Now, Dave Meltzer reported this on Wrestling Observer Radio, and Dave Meltzer noted that WWE has him slotted as a heel on Friday Night SmackDown, despite knowing he gets cheered. Meltzer says this, and I quote, LA Knight is really over. It's weird. They still slot him as a heel, but they know, and everyone knows, he's a babyface. They know he's the really big flavor of the month, so you might as well take advantage of it. Friday night this week, LA Knight will step into the ring with Sheamus, Cameron Grimes, and Rey Mysterio in round 2 of the United States Championship Invitational. On Friday night, we've seen Santos Escobar step into the ring with Grayson Waller, AJ Styles, and Butch. He won his round of the United States Championship Invitational. The winners of these two fatal four-ways will meet in 2 weeks on Friday Night SmackDown before SummerSlam, and the winner of that will wrestle Austin Theory. Whether that's on Friday night or whether that's at SummerSlam remains to be seen for the United States Championship. Do you want to know how I know Dave Meltzer's correct? I want you to look at who won round 1 of the U.S. title invitational fatal four-way. It's Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar is a babyface. Santos Escobar is in the LWO, who is a faction, or that is a faction on SmackDown that is incredibly over. One of the top merchandise sellers in the entire company. Then you have LA Knight in this round 2 against Sheamus, who's also a babyface, Cameron Grimes, who's also a babyface, versus Rey Mysterio, who's also a babyface. So theoretically, we have 4 babyfaces in round 2 of the United States Championship Invitational. If LA Knight wins, as I feel like he should, and a lot of people feel like he should, that would make it babyface versus babyface. How is that going to be any good for Santos Escobar? You're going to turn Santos Escobar into a heel with how over LA Knight is in that match. Does WWE go with LA Knight next week, or this Friday rather, in round 2 of the U.S. title invitational? Everybody seems to think so. I think LA Knight versus Austin Theory sounds like a pretty damn good idea for the United States Championship. As we all know, Austin Theory ain't done jack shit with the United States Championship, and it's time to take that title off of him. LA Knight would be the best option for the United States Championship, as it would give him some sort of hope on the main roster. What is WWE going to do here? LA Knight could theoretically turn Santos Escobar, for the night at least, into a heel. But WWE's way of thinking is if LA Knight's a heel, internally, Santos Escobar is a babyface. They think internally that LA Knight versus Santos Escobar is heel versus babyface. They are fucking stupid, aren't they? Are they going to go with the right move and LA Knight, being that he doesn't have anything going into SummerSlam, which he should? It could be LA Knight versus Logan Paul, but they got Ricochet slotted for that. So what are we going to do with LA Knight? Maybe Rey Mysterio wins. I think the idea internally WWE might be thinking is Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar, Lucha versus Lucha, passing of the torch type moment. LWO versus LWO. I don't know. Friday's going to be a big night for WWE creatively. This move could really determine where WWE feels, or what WWE feels about LA Knight internally on that roster. LA Knight's the right choice, man. I don't give a shit what anybody has to say. LA Knight for the United States Championship. That's the way to go going into SummerSlam. Match of the year. People are already calling it match of the year. If not, I know that's a very crowded category for pro wrestling right now, but I think it's safe to say that it's the tag team match of the year, and nothing will come even close unless these three matches, or these two teams rather, have a third match to really tie up everything that they've done so far in AEW. FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson of Bullet Club Gold. They had a tremendous match on Saturday night at AEW Collision. If you guys missed it, I highly advise you to go check it out. Apparently, there is some major backstage news about this match coming from Dave Meltzer. The 2 out of 3 Falls match started the show on Saturday night and went nearly 1 hour. The match ended with FTR retaining around the 57-minute mark. FTR won via submission when Dax submitted Juice with the sharpshooter in Calgary, Alberta, Canada to retain the titles. Post-match, FTR wanted to shake hands with both Jay White and Juice, and Jay White spit at the boot of Dax Harwood. Dave Meltzer says this, and I quote, "An interesting aspect of this match is that they did not work a lot out before the match. I'm not saying it was all called in the ring, but there were things that happened. Juice got in there at 2 in the afternoon. The match started at 6 at night. I know that there was a thing, they started Collision with the match, 6 o'clock, whatever it is, Calgary time, I think it was. Whatever it was, they started the match. 6 Mountain Time. They started the match, and, at the start of the show, there was definitely talk. I know that they wanted to get a little bit more work out of the match and to really go over what they wanted to do, but I think that's because of the nature of it being a 2-hour show. You have to do this hour match. They just wanted to start with it. Really impressive. I would have been impressed if they worked the whole match out, but still, it was super impressive. But that was another aspect of the story. The fact that they didn't plan anything out or a lot of what they wanted to do out before the match is what basically Dave Meltzer is saying. A lot of the match, from what I'm hearing here, from what I'm reading here, Dave Meltzer is basically saying that a lot of what you saw on Saturday night, a good chunk of what you saw on Saturday night was called in the match as it was happening, which again just goes to show you where AEW is as far as some of the greatest talent that is in the pro wrestling industry, how great FTR is, and how fucking great Jay White and Juice Robinson have been for Saturday Night Collision, man. Oh, my goodness. If we get a third match out of this, we are the lucky ones. I know they'll try and make sense of it if it does happen, but my God, man, what a tag team match that was on Saturday night. The last time FTR were in Toronto, or Canada rather, they were in Toronto for NXT TakeOver Toronto during the Black and Gold era. They were in there against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa of DIY. That was the last time they had a 2 out of 3 falls in Canada. Does Saturday night at Collision against Bullet Club Gold top what they did against DIY? I'm not going to really sit here and tell you. It's a very subjective thing. The match itself, I think, was a better match, but the overall vibe of Toronto cannot be topped. I think the story going into that was a lot better than what we got here with Bullet Club Gold, but I mean, take your choice, man. You can't go wrong with either one of them. At the end of the day, FTR, one of the best tag teams of our generation, one of the best tag teams of all time. Juice Robinson and Jay White of Bullet Club Gold, that is their show, and they are fucking studs, man. I can't wait to see what they continue to do on Saturday night, and moving them to Saturday night was one of the best decisions Tony Khan has made in all 4 years of AEW. Impact Wrestling news. Nick Aldis, no longer with the company. Looks like Nick Aldis was just biding his time until WWE's hiring freeze came to a stop. Nick Aldis came up short against Alex Shelley in the main event. He worked the Impact tapings on Sunday nights, and he wrestled a loser leaves town match. Aldis ended his first run with the promotion in 2017, where he would go on to become the face of NWA until he departed this past January before returning to Impact this past April at Rebellion, where he's been chasing the Impact World Championship, and now he is no longer with the company as he lost, spoiler, the loser leaves town match at the recent tapings against Johnny Swinger. So I don't know when you guys will see that. It'll be obviously on an upcoming Thursday episode of Impact TV. Nick Aldis, I don't know. Impact, he wrestled for Impact. He's clearly not going back to NWA. So it's either AEW or WWE. Does WWE bring in Nick Aldis? I don't know if that is really a right fit for WWE. It might be a right fit for Triple H. It might not be a right fit for Vince McMahon. I don't know. The reason why Nick Aldis did not end up in WWE, though they were still hiring people, they were giving out contracts, it's Vince McMahon. And plus, everything that happened under the Triple H administration that was supposed to take place has not taken place. A lot of talents were brought back, not brought to TV, not used. I did an extra yesterday on Eric Young. He refused to work with Vince McMahon. He signed back in November. They didn't use him. He asked for his out. They released him in April, 90-day non-compete. He ended up back with Impact. Does Nick Aldis go back and try for WWE, or does he end up in AEW? I could see Nick Aldis fitting very well on a Saturday Night Collision. I really could. Nick Aldis is a great talent, one of the best storytellers in the business. Where does he end up? I don't know. But it looks like he was just biding his time until he made a decision on where he wanted to go next, or possibly waited out the WWE hiring freeze and may end up back over there like originally planned because Triple H wanted Nick Aldis in WWE. Very interesting story to keep an eye on. We'll keep an eye on where Nick Aldis ends up, as he is a major free agent right now in the world of pro wrestling. Mercedes Monet is staying quiet about her return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, her return from injury. She is recovering from an injury she suffered a few months back in a match against Willow Nightingale. The match was to crown the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Champion, and she suffered an injury in the main event of New Japan's Resurgence show. This led to changes being made as Monet was supposed to go over in the match to become the inaugural champion. She suffered a broken ankle when going for Code Red off the top rope. Nightingale went on to win the match and ultimately lost the title to Julia as of a few weeks ago. It's believed she had surgery to fix the injury, and as previously reported, there are no timeline plans for Monet's return, but when she does, more than likely you see where New Japan's plans are. They want Monet versus Julia for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. And that is a dream match. I know for sure that's a dream match for Mercedes, as she's talked about it previously in the past. While speaking with Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Mercedes is staying quiet about her status, but was spotted on crutches over the weekend. So she's been quiet about everything. She was at the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view. I can't even fucking speak. Slammiversary pay-per-view. I know she still had crutches. She was there to obviously support Trinity as she won the Impact Knockouts Women's Championship. She had a walking boot on, so the presumption is that she had surgery, but she still is on crutches. We haven't heard anything about a timetable. Obviously, the plan when she's ready is to wrestle Julia, who won the New Japan Strong Women's Championship from Willow Nightingale, and that is the plan right now, end quote. Meltzer added that he doesn't know a time frame, or people close to her don't know because she's keeping it so quiet, as she should. As she should. Why do you need to know anything about what Mercedes is doing? If there's one thing I know about Mercedes, man, she likes playing the marks. She does. She likes to really keep everything close to the vest. In every situation that has really been regarding Mercedes, no matter what it happened or what happened in WWE, no matter if she walked out, a sabbatical. You know, I'm still trying to figure out the reason why she didn't wrestle Bianca Belair at SummerSlam a couple years ago. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. That was the planned match. And then we get Becky Lynch winning the title in 27 seconds, which was one of the worst creative decisions of the entire year that year for WWE. But Bianca was supposed to wrestle Mercedes, and we never got a reason why. So if it is pertaining to Mercedes, it is going to be riddled with mystery. She likes playing everything up. She likes to keep she's a very secretive woman, especially when it comes to her character and what she's doing. She knows. She just gets it. She wants people to really be anticipating a return. You think that she's coming back, only for her not to come back. She'll come back when she's ready. She wants it to really be a bombshell surprise when she comes back because she thinks that this match with Julia is going to be one of the biggest matches of her career. And she wants people to get excited about it, and she wants people to really have it be unpredictable. So when it comes to Mercedes, you got to understand that when it comes to her, she's going to really try and hide everything, keep it very secretive, keep everything close to the vest, man. She's sitting at that poker table with the glasses on. You don't know what move she's going to make. So I really appreciate that about Mercedes. But that match with Julia is basically a done deal when she comes back to New Japan. And speaking of Mercedes, her best friend Bayley, apparently Bayley is injured, and this happened at a house show over the weekend. Yesterday, in fact, Bayley injured at a WWE live event. According to several fans in attendance at the WWE live event in Salisbury, Maryland, Bayley was injured during her match. I have the video right here. You guys can see it, and I'll just throw the video to you guys for a couple of seconds to see what's going on right now. Now, Bayley was in this match with Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Bianca Belair. Fatal four-way, I'm assuming, for the Women's Championship. And that's when the injury occurred. You see the injury happen not on a move, but Bayley was actually running and in stride when she went down with the injury. And Jessica Carr, the referee of the match, threw up the X sign to signal that she was legitimately hurt, and the match was cut short. Now, Bayley limped to the back with some help from trainers. And there's an update now. Bayley was able to walk out of the building on her own while limping. So a lot of people are taking this as a positive sign, and Bayley might not need any type of surgery, God forbid. Hopefully, Bayley might not need surgery. She walked out on her own. It might be just a sprain. But I'm thinking when I seen this, I'm like, oh my God, hopefully it's not the same leg that she injured a couple of years back and had to really go through rehabilitation for, come back. Hopefully it's not that knee. Remember, she blew out her knee training at the Performance Center because Vince McMahon wanted everybody to go back to the PC because everybody was working in front of virtual screens, and he wanted people to get back in the Performance Center to work and get ready to work back in front of live audiences. He sent Bayley down there, and she got injured doing scrimmage. Of all people, Bayley needs scrimmage? Give me a break. She got hurt when she really shouldn't have got hurt. She had to spend an entire year out, wasting a year of her career, and now she's back, and I hope it's not the same knee that she blew out the first time. So hopefully this is a positive thing, and hopefully she's only going to be out a few weeks, and it's nothing more than a sprain. Hopefully she didn't tear an ACL or an MCL, and hopefully it's not going to be a report where she's out for 6 to 9 months. That would be devastating for WWE's women's division right now, as the SmackDown women's division is not looking too good on Friday night. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed today's news, please hit that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And if you missed anything else on the channel, live streams and all the breaking news stories, LTS Extra, go check it out. They're all on the homepage for you if you missed any of that content last week. Tonight, I'll be live after Monday Night Raw. As always, until then, guys, enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys tonight right here for Monday Night Raw on OTS. I'll see you guys later.